Pete with GoddamnFitness.com, your number one for research supplements. All right, today we're going to talk about living longer, the current research on supplements. In the video, we'll talk about intermittent fasting, resveratrol, NMN, dosages, side effects of anti-aging drugs, diet recommendations by scientists, healthcare startups, and future studies. All right, intermittent fasting. Studies are ongoing in mice that are showing great results with longevity. Intermittent fasting puts you in a defensive mode. Studies are being conducted for the last 20 years regarding intermittent fasting. Giving your organs a rest from constantly working is one of the most popular ideas why it's so beneficial. Dieting and fasting is showing in animals that they're living longer, and scientists are doing this with molecules. Molecules can potentially even be better with dieting and fasting. Tricking the body into a state of fasting is also showing good results in studies. Out of all the animal studies, skipping eating every second day showed the longest life in mice. This is similar to our prehistoric ancestors, which I think a lot can be learned from. Resveratrol. Resveratrol has shown to reduce blood cholesterol, and it's found in vegetables and fruits. Resveratrol is actually discovered in red wine. It has shown its anti-aging effects. It is a type of phenol that is found in berries. Not to confuse with drinking lots of red wine. I review resveratrol extract to experiment with this substance. NMN is another anti-aging supplement. 20 years ago, scientists discovered molecules in yeast that controls aging. Serotonins protect the organisms on the planet. These are responsible to help combat deterioration. Serotonins are evolutionary conserved family of proteins that appear to exert a wide range of biological functions. There's also NR, and M and N help boost NAD in the body. So NAD is a metabolic enzyme which is responsible for every activity in life. So dosages. So with NMN, dosages can depend on the experiment, really. 1 gram in the morning shows in some trials to accelerate NAD in the patient. This would be expensive to achieve, looking at $20 to $40 per day on these dosages. This hasn't been fully trialed in humans yet. There is no known safe protocols, unfortunately. This is for informational purposes only, so do more research as it comes out. Resveratrol powder has been said to be dosed at 1 gram. Mixed with yogurt and metformin shows more edible result when dosing and when consuming this, which is used to be prescribed for people who suffer from diabetes. It's also worth reviewing other nutrient participants like berberine extract are useful as well. The FDA doesn't allow you to have this as aging isn't considered a disease. One could argue if this is taken into consideration, it would be less expensive to run healthcare systems in the long term. So you cure short-term anti-aging, it'll prevent people from going to hospitals in their later age. So side effects of anti-aging drugs. The side effects are mentioned. Substances are low. Many may experience mild stomach upsets, but generally they've been trialed with little side effects. Metformin can cause cardiovascular risk and a deficiency in vitamin B12. You can also use alternatives to lower blood sugar like vinegar or apple cider vinegar with every meal. Cinnamon, but the chances are it won't be half as effective as metformin. So what are the diet recommendations by scientists for longevity? So firstly, don't overeat, which is very hard to do. Avoid sugar and simple carbs to stick to a lower carb ratio. Run once a week for endurance. High intensity training works really well here. Doing infrared saunas and cold exposures a few times a week is good. Doing a few workouts a week, and limit your protein, because sometimes this TMAO is linked with heart disease, mostly red wheat. So pretty simple to really execute this. So anti-aging myths. So antioxidants and anti-aging were talked about for a long time, but scientists don't necessarily agree with this. Red wine and resveratrol doesn't come with its potency. People tend to make a lot of this mistake all the time. So high levels of longevity pathways, mTOR like BCAAs and testosterone will gain performance benefits, but can actually reduce lifespan. So these are kind of trade-offs. Lifespan versus quality of life are real concepts to take into consideration. Another thing to consider is that animals who want to grow faster also age faster. So take whales, for example, they grow slow over a long period of time and live longer lives. This is tough to review when it's really a quality of life being compared to length of life. All right, genes. The idea in the future is to trick the body into thinking it's hungry, like hibernation, tricking of the body and manipulating the genes in the body to advance longevity. This is becoming more likely according to science. Myostatin inhibitors have extended lifespans in mice. This may be because there's more muscle cells and less fat cells. These could also be releasing certain molecules. So all these things can be certainly beneficial, and it's good to take these into consideration. So healthcare startups. So startups are now said to be injecting young blood for longevity. They have credited scientists, but it's really too soon to really tell if this is actually beneficial. You might have heard of celebrities doing some sort of, blood plasma type of therapy, which is taking really blood from younger people and injecting it into older people. So it's said that it mightn't be useful in treating disease, but it could be useful in other aspects. It still needs to be discovered. So yeah, the rumor was that Peter Thiel was doing this, but he's recently denied it. And really, when they've done these studies about people who live the longest, it's actually in the East China Sea in Japan. So there's an island off Japan. The people on the island tend to never overeat. It's everything in real moderation. I know it sounds boring, but it's true. This tends to be one of the biggest beliefs in their health span, as islanders are always physically active with their work ethic. So future studies. The company Metro Biotech are testing extreme potency of NAD, which we discussed earlier. Research chemicals called MIB626. It's expected to be approved by the FDA eventually. Studies show in rats at the equivalent of 65 years old that they ran 3 kilometers on this substance. The lining of the blood vessels need NAD, but as you get older, these tend to deteriorate. So there's plenty of things like mTOR rapamycin is another potentially useful research chemical that could be considered dangerous, causing immune issues, but they still need to do more research here. The skin is also a big organ. The drugs we review can also be applied here. Cosmetic companies are reviewing glaucoma treatments like laser surgery, Botox, and fillers to see where these can be applied. There's another thing called NRA splicing that allows one sequence of DNA to code for multiple different proteins. This is spliced in a number of different ways and used to produce different results. So this is like kind of gene therapy. Alternative splicing can also generate multiple isoforms in a single gene that can be manipulated. So there's plenty of little things that you should be keeping an eye on and figure out how we can get ahead to keep really the most cutting edge research available to us. All right, guys, so a lot of these supplements aren't approved by the FDA and some of them aren't listed for human consumption. Check your local laws by the time you view this video. If you like it, give us a like below, share and subscribe. And thanks for listening. Please check out our article below for more information. And we'll speak to you soon.